And we go to the face-off dot, and this is going to be a big story today, Matt. It's Luke Wierman and Will Lynch. Luke Wierman is one of the best in the nation.
Yeah, we know how important face-offs are and possessions will be in this game. I think both teams are very evenly matched throughout the field, and I think this is face-off X is one of the most important parts of this game.
5 of the last 6 games between these two teams have been decided by 2 goals or less. And we are underway here in College Park. It's going to be Notre Dame who wins the opening face-off, Will Lynch. And he will give it off to Pat Cavanaugh. Cavanaugh will find point number 10 on the year. And Maryland strikes first in this big-time matchup here in College Park. So a big talking point was, can Will Lynch win some face-offs against Wierman? He won the first, and this time it's a loose ball. It's going to be scooped up there by Jack McDonald. Here comes Maryland.
Yeah, and Tyler gets 2 very well-coached, disciplined.
Far this year, they've outscored opponents 20-6 in the opening frame. But Maryland scored first. That Maryland goal was the first time Notre Dame has trailed all year long. Called a goal, that's the right call, and the Irish, they've got 2 in a row to take the lead. This is Trader trying to pick up this ground ball. Battle for it. And again, for Maryland, it's so important here not to let the Irish really get up. Irish have 2 in a row. They'd love to get a Notre Dame has held their own in the face-off dot. But this time, the whistle gives it to Wierman.
Yeah, this is key for Maryland to slow down some of this momentum.
Notre Dame has scored on all 3 shots they have taken today.
It was a defensive standout where we were looking at 5-4 games, 6-5 games. So the shot clock definitely keeps the score up a little here.
So Maryland is still man up. This is a really big face-off for the Terps. If they can win it, and they will. That's Chorus, former Loyola Don, who's going to take that across. And a timeout. Maryland is going to be man up for another minute. So another big face-off here for Wierman. Notre Dame can win this. They could try to kill that off. Wierman's going to flick that back. And Chorus is going to pick up another ground ball.
And that is a big win. Not only is Maryland man up here, but they have the ball.
And Maryland has scored the last 3 of this game. Wierman's going to win another faceoff. He's going to take it up the middle. Great job by Notre Dame to close it off. Here's Geppert, a shot, it goes over. CQ Stadium as the Maryland Terrapins look to bounce back against the Pioneers out of the Big East. It's Denver and Maryland tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Big Ten Plus. And we are back underway as Notre Dame is going to look to try to find an answer.
And that's a big.
And we are tied again. Fight for it. Wierman just pushed over Lynch. And he's going to pick up the ground ball. Now Wierman takes a shot. It's getting chippy out here. CQ Field. And now the other way comes Colin Burlace.
One of Maryland. And that's a big turnover for Notre Dame. And this is where you can see how hard this team rides.
Just the effort from both of these teams is it's going to go out of bounds. Maryland is going to get possession.
And that is in the culture and blueprint of both these programs.
Aware of Pat Cavanaugh, he is fantastic. His 15th assist on the year as Wierman wins the faceoff. 5-4 Irish.
You know, it is important to note, just and interesting, that the amount of time Maryland's had the ball and the Irish are still up 1, their scoring efficiency is through the roof right now, even without the possessions that we said would be so valuable. With a great goaltender like Enneman, they're just not going to go in. So the challenge for Maryland is how can they generate higher quality shots towards the middle of the field in this second half.
Lynch wins the face-off, and he takes a shot there as he let it fly. This Maryland defense is fired up.
Yeah, I think they came out ready to go, and this defense has a lot of great leadership in, a Brett.
The freshman who was really impressed today.
Yeah, I think in general, Eric's just composure and poise with the ball is impressive as a freshman out here against a Notre Dame defense.
That's another face-off win for Lynch. He's now 2 for 2 here in the second half for number 22. He's going to give this off for Tevlin. Looking for a hat trick, but nice job by Zappatello to block it.
And that's a great approach by Ajax.
Time has the lead.
Right, and every goal counts. They don't have to be pretty, but just getting on the board in a game like this is so important.
And that's Lynch there with another face-off win, the former Chaminade Flyer. He has really done his job today against Wierman, who's probably the best in the country.
Yeah, especially the second half. It feels like the tide at the face-off X has changed coming out of halftime. And he's a big, imposing athlete. It's tough to cover him with a short stick.
So just like that, just over 20 seconds separating those two goals. Notre Dame has won another face-off. That's now all 4 in this second half. Face-off win of this second half, and Maryland finally gets it. But McDonald just dropped the ball. Lynch fighting for it. A big hit there by Makar. But somehow they're going to get through it. This is Kavanaugh. That's Ben Ramsey who made a great play. Wierman really needs a face-off win. Lynch really has his number right now. But Geppert comes in and makes a play. He's going to get it back to Trader. They're going to try to close on him, but he is so elusive.
And that's a big win right there.
Last 6 between these two teams have been decided by 2 or less. It looks like we're heading there again.
Something about Maryland Notre Dame. It tends to always go this way, and they're not disappointing.
The game of the week. A lot of eyes on these two teams right now. What is Maryland after that loss to Loyola? And for Notre Dame, could this finally be the year that they find the breakthrough and win Coach Corrigan his first national championship?
And there's Geppert off the win, securing the ground ball and actually going back to Maryland's low defense.
There goes to Murphy. Wierman's going to pick that up. Almost threw it into his own net, and Rupel could not keep that in. So here comes Notre Dame with a great opportunity.
And you see, is that a timeout there?
It's the team with 9 helpers, and the former Calvert Hall Cardinal Daniel Kelly has a team leading 12 goals on the year. Boy, do they need that as Wierman wins the faceoff. But that's knocked away. Kohler's going to have to get back to pick it up. He'll give it off to Makar. Maryland had to be careful there not to be offsides, but they did that. And what toughest test so far, and probably their toughest test that they're going to get here at home.
Yeah, and we got the shady side and the sunny side here in the stadium, so definitely half of it's a little colder than the other half. But to your point, we got a 1-goal game going into the 4th quarter. This is living up to the expectations of that 2 goals or less, typically of 5 of the last 6 games.
This is the game of the week. There's no question about that. It's lived up to the billing as Wierman is going to take this face-off, throwing it away.
But once again, it's not just the winning of the face-off, it's the valuing of the ball in general that I think is, a little alarming for both.
A hat trick in all 3 so far. And that's another face-off win for Will Lynch.
Yeah, it's funny with Chris Kavanaugh, he's kind of one of those guys that Maryland can respond to that play.
Goal number 2 today for McCann. It's his 8th of the year, a 16th assist for Kavanaugh.
Notre Dame scores at the 11:49 mark.
And here comes Maryland. With it in his stick, that's Jack McDonald. For Spanos, what a day he's having. Had just 1 goal coming in today. He has a hat trick. And with Murphy's hat trick earlier, that makes 62 straight games for this Maryland program with a player scoring at least 3 goals. That is incredible.
This year, and that's what they need.
Another big-time player makes a big play there. That's Luke Wierman with another big face-off, and Maryland is going to keep the ball. And if the Terps can start to play make it, take it here, that is
his poise. He does not play like a freshman. He's running at Notre Dame poles, some of the best poles in the country, and he's handling their pressure and making good reads.
This is the biggest game he has played in his college career, and he is really stepping up. But Lynch has stepped up all day long, and that's face-off win number 9 for him, which is not an easy task. Of Notre Dame, they score. And that quick goal really changes things here. That's a big face-off, and it's won by Notre Dame, but it's loose.
These are the plays right here, right? Who comes up with this ball? Notre Dame does, right? Those are the tough plays. Maryland gets that ball, different story.
And just like that, the Irish can tie it.
And we're talking about big-time players, you know, both Kavanaugh brothers. And Chris, you said he kind of has a quiet few points here tonight, or today. That's not a quiet one. That's a big point there for him.
And that's a big face-off win for the Irish. Taking it in is Boyer. A timeout is just going to play until somebody scores. I think that sounds pretty good. We are back underway, and it looks like Maryland is going to get first crack at it.
This is where you see that Notre Dame team ride, right? Pat Kavanaugh almost got one right there.
Geppert with that big ground ball, and now Maryland is going to bring in their offense.
You know, it does reflect in the score. We got 12-12 here.
Let's head to the dot here for the face-off. It's a battle. Scooped out. Can Geppert get there? Yes. Another big ground ball for Geppert, who gets that out and into the stick of Wierman.
That is a tremendous play by Geppert. Can Maryland hold on to the ball, though?
Still loose. That's Chris Fake coming in. Urksa putting his body on the line to scoop it up is Kohler. And a whistle goes. Did Maryland get that timeout off? They did.
That is an elite timeout by John Tillman right there.
It's time for a third overtime. You can see Coach John Tillman there. We head to the face-off dot. All these face-offs are massive in OT. It's still loose. Up in the air. A scrum for it. Dante Trader with the big ground ball.
And two big plays in a row there for Trader, securing the ball for the Terps. Now we want to get the ball, you know, get Wierman off the field here, get the ball to a midi course, steps on.